Hi everyone, welcome back to Organic Hair Farm. So today we're going to be doing something that we've wanted to do for quite some time now, which is plant an orchard. So right now you can see that a good portion of our property is actually on a slope. It's pretty much a hill, and we know exactly what to do with that. So we're going to be planting a fruit orchard, kind of like a food forest, where we're going to be having some fruit trees, some blueberries, grapevines, and just a lot of edible fruit and good stuff that we can harvest from here. Mostly an orchard because we're not going to be growing veggies or anything here, just edible fruit. So, we wanted to walk you guys through the process of planting these trees first before we go ahead and get started. So before you start planting your fruit trees, obviously you have to order them. You got to find out which ones are hardy in your zone. So before you go buying any fruit trees, just make sure you do a little research about finding out which fruit trees will do good in your zone, because everyone has different weather and everyone has a different zone, which means the average cold temperatures vary depending on where you live. So we're in zone 6, and we know that all of the fruit trees we order are going to be hardy for zone 6. So first we're going to find the place that we want to plant our fruit trees, right? So you have to find a spot that you want to plant them, and that's your main thing at first, is finding out exactly where you want to plant these trees. And to make sure, when you're prepping this step, just make sure you keep in mind that these trees may be small now, but they are going to grow into fully mature trees. So make sure when you're planting them, you're not crowding the trees or anything like that. You want to make sure that they have enough space that they can branch out when they're fully grown. So don't overcrowd your fruit trees. Make sure you leave enough room that they can grow into fully mature trees, because if they're overcrowded, you're going to have problems. Once you find your spots, you're going to mark the spot, and then you can basically start digging. Uh, if you need to amend the soil or do anything like that, you can do that now, but we just recommend planting in the native soil that you have. You don't have to do anything to it. So mark your spots, find your spots, and then you can start digging. So two main things when digging: make sure the holes are wide enough that you can get all the roots in, but make sure they're not deep enough that you're going to be covering any part of the trunk of the tree. If you cover up the tree trunk with soil or anything like that, you can actually start damaging the tree and it could die. So you want to make sure that you don't go too deep. This is my number one tip for planting fruit trees. I wish I knew about this years ago, is to not plant them too deep. Okay, so that's rule number one. Rule number two is to make sure they have enough space for when they are fully grown. You don't want them overcrowded. And just make sure you dig the hole wide enough that you can get all the roots in. So make sure you keep that soil as well that you dig out of the hole to fill it back in when you do get the plants in the ground. So once you dig the hole wide enough, not too deep, put the plants in, you can fill it backfill it with the soil that you dug out in the holes. So you're going to then pat it down, make sure they're actually in the ground and the soil isn't too loose around the roots, because they can just topple over with a wind, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you just stamp them down, get them in the ground, make sure that earth around it is nice and firm, and then you can water the plants once they're in. For us, we actually know that on this day that we're planting them, we're going to get a pretty heavy rain and a downpour. So we're not going to water them right now because we know we're getting rain. If you're not due for rain on the same day you plant, you should definitely water your trees. So once you get them in the ground, you pat everything down, you clear it, any debris or anything that's around there. You want to protect the tree. So we're going to get some kind of tree covering where we can cover up the trunk of the tree, because we'd want to avoid, bunnies or deer or anything that want to eat your trees. You want to prevent them from getting to it. So make sure you get some sort of tree protectant or tree cover that you can protect the trees while they're so young. You don't want anything chewing on it because it could damage the tree. Once you do that, we also, in our video, you can see here that we put some tomato cages around, but later on we actually do go in and put the little tree trunk covers, those little plastic ones. We actually did put those on as well. So make sure you actually protect the trees from any, would-be predators. Once you do that and you protect the trees, you're pretty much done. All you have to do now, the best thing that we recommend is putting a good layer of mulch around the base of the tree. And that will literally just help keep the soil nice and moist. It'll help with drainage, and it just creates a really beneficial area around the roots that will help the tree thrive. So just make sure you get a plain mulch, nothing colored or nothing like that, just chopped up wood chips, and you just want to sprinkle that around in a good like 3 to 4 inch layer around each tree. Eventually, we want to actually put wood chips like everywhere in our fruit orchard so that it's just trees and wood chips all over. It'll be a lot easier for us to handle in the long run, and it will also decrease the amount of work and everything we have to do to keep the orchard looking good. So that's eventually what we're going to do. So once you get all those in, you're pretty much done. The fruit trees are ready to go. Make sure you water them at least once a week so they don't dry out. And especially if you're having, hot summers, water them a couple times a week. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have other fruit trees on our property. We did recently move to this property, so we had to rip our fruit trees out from where we had them planted. And I know some of them won't make it, but most of them will. So we wanted to make sure we have this fruit orchard going so that we have backup fruit just in case our other ones don't make it. So this is going to be perfect. The fruits we're going to be growing are peaches, apples, cherry, and a very, very special fruit that you probably haven't heard of. It's called a pawpaw. If you don't know what a pawpaw is, you really need to look it up. It is the only tropical fruit that's native to North America. So if you're watching this anywhere in North America, anywhere around zone 5, 6, 7 or more, you can grow a pawpaw. It apparently tastes absolutely amazing. It has tropical flavors, scents, and we absolutely are thrilled to have this in our orchard because it's something that's been native to North America, but it was lost throughout time. Like people just kind of forgot about this fruit, but very select people know about it, and it's kind of making a comeback. We want to be the one that brings it back to people's, like the forefront of people's mind. It's also a really good fruit tree to grow because it is fairly disease free and disease resistant, which is absolutely amazing because most fruit trees, we have to spray them. We have to be coming up with all sorts of concoctions to keep these bugs off the fruit. Whereas the pawpaw, because it's native to North America, it doesn't really have that many bugs or anything that want to eat it. It doesn't really have, even the birds really stay away from it. So it's a great, great fruit tree to grow, guys. I really recommend you look up the pawpaw. Even the fruit itself looks absolutely amazing. People say it tastes kind of like a banana, pineapple, mango cross. And I mean, who doesn't love that? It sounds absolutely amazing. So we have 3 of those trees. They are about 2 years old right now, these trees, right?
I think they're a year.
The trees, so these trees are about a year old. They're grafted. So we did get, the bare root trees. We wanted something that was already big enough that we wouldn't have to wait like as long as you would if you were planting seed. So these trees, within 3 years or so, we're hoping we'll get fruit off them. Hopefully we can get fruit within 2 years, but typically it's about 3 years because they already have a year that they've been planted for. So that pretty much covers everything. We're going to be putting our blueberries here as well. We do have blueberries that we've also had for about 8+ years in pots. We have them in fairly large pots, but we're going to be putting them in this fruit orchard as well. So we'll do that in the next video. We also have to plant a little grape thingy on a trellis that we want to build. So we'll be doing that as well. And we'll also be showing you guys our new homestead animal that we just got. We're putting the video together, so make sure you come back for that. But we did go ahead and buy a baby cow. thank you guys so much for joining us for this video. Be sure you subscribe and like, and make sure you share the video because it's the best way to help us out. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.